right, looks like we got video, 3:30 Eastern here. Trade Ideas Live Q&A. Double check the sound. Looks like sound is good. Looks like video is okay. I'm going to increase that display. Make that a little bigger for you all. Again, I see a few people jump right in here. Hopefully those are real people and they're in here. Trade Ideas Live Q&A. Do this every day, Monday through Friday, 3:30 Eastern. It's a live open forum. Fire away your questions as soon as you guys are ready. And I'm just adjusting my settings here a little bit to get this a little bigger, a little nicer for you all to be able to see my screen. So happy Friday to everybody. Good day from the AI. As always, interesting tape from the market. Good stuff. So I'll give everybody a moment to settle in here. I'm sure you must have a whole bunch of burning questions. Fire those away for me. What was everybody trading today? What was everybody looking at? It looks like the SPY's trying to put in a third green 15-minute candle in a row. Shocker. All right, so we're a silent bunch right off to start with. So yeah, take a look. I got right on my chart here, DOCN. That was a Holly trade that came in here later in the day, actually, a little later than Holly normally goes. Caught the top of that, but turns out to be a pretty good trade. Can't really argue with the numbers there on that one. A little wider of a stop than maybe some might take. Although I will say the bottom of a 15-minute the previous 15-minute candle is a very commonly used stop for a lot of people. So all the same, trade worked out. Very nice. Still technically open, even conservative. I believe that'll be a 345 exit is what we'll see here, and a timed exit is what we'll see for that exit reason there from Holly in a few moments. And again, for people coming in, coming out, it's a live open forum here for trade ideas. So I like it when you guys are generating the content, giving us something to look at. Of course, I will bore you to death with the things that I either were looking at or thinking about during the market hours here. Sorry, making an effort here to see if I can get a few other people in here. All right, there we go. All right, so you're all real silent on me at this point here. Make sure in the questions panel. All right, so I'll drone on into the void if nothing else. So again, DOCN. I just think that was a pretty great alert from Holly, given the tape that we have today. Calling a bounce play. You can line some things up here. All right. Let's see where that leads us to. I think that's kind of a significant pivot level. And again, anybody that knows me knows that pivot levels, whether they're support or resistance or approximations, not exacts. That's how you get your bear and bull traps. You get your whoopsies, whatever you want to call them. So we towed that line for a little while there before making that move up. And so it's no surprise that that line came into play there. Now, whether that's what Holly was looking at or not, I can't say for sure, but happened to all work out there. Dan, how are you? Yeah, another ugly day in the market. No, I took one little small loss. Took a real small loss. I took a shot at I don't know what was it, H something or CYAD. I took a shot here on this just for fun. It was really stupid. It was just out of boredom. So anyways, it is what it is. So other than that, that's really it for me on the day today. I just kind of exited some different positions. Flattish on the week actually with that one losing trade. So it is what it is. You take the good with the bad. We're range bound. I think that's what we have to work with. Santa Claus rally, all those things like that. Who knows? I won't pretend to be smarter than the market. All I know is that that's what I got. That's what's going on, and that's what it'll take. So also, Dan, your scan turned out to be a whole big thing for us today with something with our data and something that I was seeing, but other people weren't seeing, and something I ended up having to troubleshoot or involved in data questions all day long. So I never actually got to look at what your scan was trying to do. I started to do it this morning in the pre-market at like I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's led to a whole thing where we have to look into something with the servers. And then all of a sudden I was seeing it, someone else wasn't seeing it, then I wasn't seeing it, and they were seeing it. Had to do with whole numbers and rounding. And half the people could see what I was seeing, then half the people couldn't, then I couldn't see it. A little confusing. So I didn't, I don't know what to make of it right now. So I really just never got a chance to dive into it, other than I know you're trying to look for, divergence from the sectors, essentially. So maybe I'll mess around with it in a minute here on screen here if no other questions are coming in, and we'll see how that all goes. Just kind of funny how that worked out. No, I know it's just kind of funny how that all worked out. And and that now I can't reproduce what was happening to me earlier, but someone else can. So I don't know what to make of it. There's minds greater than mine going right into the servers themselves to look at what the actual prints we see and all this other stuff are, and all that happy stuff like that. So, all right. While it's still remaining quiet here for the moment, I'm gonna dive back a few more things with Holly here. So let's expand it out a little bit here. If I can grab hold of this window properly, there we go. And she killed it today. And always the theme of man and machine, or human and machine. Why pound the table? I don't think Holly is, the greatest as far as automation goes. And really, my issue with Holly's automation is the exits, because her entries in general are pretty spot on. It's the later on trade management of those. It just has to do with what we have to work with as far as programming and exiting trades go, as far as automation goes. But as a watch list, if you were to, let her make the entries and then cancel her stop orders and manage those stop orders yourselves, whether you wanted to implement some kind of hard stop or watch it with your eyes off her entries, I think it even worked better like that. But just, looking at what she did today, sorry, I didn't mean to delete what I just did, on this change from entry here, if you watch that throughout the day, she was just absolute fire on a bunch of those alerts. I'm not always crazy about the max profit one, just because sometimes her stops, I feel like, are almost more of a swing stop than an intraday stop. But we could debate things like that, and that's all relative to someone's trading plan, so on and so forth. So it just, that has to do with the share size that it'll give me. So for example, taking 30 shares of something is kind of like when you have such a great change from the entry right there. You have an 86 now 83 cent change from entry and only take 30 shares from it. then it looks like only $35 max profit. That's where, I kind of diverge from some of the numbers, but it is what it is, and you can't be everything to everybody. But just to give this a look here, just an absolute great call on this here. Got a massive gap down as it is, anyways, and yes. So is an uptick rule going to be a factor in that? Absolutely. That's what you get, though. It's a shortable stock. You're going to have to work it. Trying to go in and get that fill on the short. So again, why it's human and machine, but just look at that 90 cents from the open, 90 cents from the from the entry. Same thing here. This makes this great move up afterwards. Yeah, you sat in pain for a few moments here, all right? But makes a great move up, and it's continuing to make that move up after a pullback to the entry again. So even multiple shots at trying to get this entry here on this. What else are you supposed to do? And anybody that's been in these late day Q&As with me, some days I start with the good from Holly, some days I start with the bad from Holly. There's a lot more good to look at from Holly today. I like to believe I'm very unbiased about Holly. KR was just a garbage trade right from the start. That's all there is to it. Why is it a garbage trade? All right, well, here's why it's a garbage trade. Let's zoom a little bit to get a little nicer look. We're working with an earnings play. We know we're highly volatile as it is. As we discussed yesterday, we had two levels of interest that are on this chart as it is right now. And we saw that she stalled right here on this. We came in today knowing it was most likely a bearish tape, more chop, or if you want to call it, instead of just being bearish. All right. And so what do we do? We make a small gap up nearly into this level already. All right. And the market's fading the whole day to start with. Got compare count windows showing me that we were selling right from the get-go the entire day. There was nothing on my compare count windows by market cap that showed me that anything looked bullish to me whatsoever or looked long. And that's not to say there wasn't long plays. I'm just saying that's the overall tape today. All right. We're getting in the first 15 minutes. All right. We all know how I feel about the first 15 minutes of trading. And I think, a lot of traders will tell you the exact same thing. First 15 minutes, first 20 minutes, some will even tell you the first half an hour, a lot of head fakes in there, right? There wasn't even a head fake there. We caught the top right here before running right down and getting stopped out. So it was a bad trade. That's all there was to it, all right? We had that resistance that was sitting right up above it. Yesterday's trade was nicer because we gapped up. We moved into the resistance of yesterday. This is that resistance. That's that same line right there before beginning to move off of that on a strong earnings play, all right? Earnings has passed us. That's it. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly with Holly. Every day, I'm going to point it out all the same. Sorry, getting a message asking about that thing that I was seeing earlier that I was discussing with Dan there. So, that's what it is. It is what it is. If we look back on this whole week of Holly, I'm going to bring that up actually in a second. It was another really good week from Holly overall, and we're in a mess. We're just in a mess of chop, And for some people, this is the kind of tape they want to trade. They want this kind of stuff. Other people do not want this kind of stuff. Especially, look, the bottom line is a rising tide lifts all boats. I am sure that most traders that are more to the long side found it pretty easy trading through there. This is tough. That's all there is to it. I'm having a tough time. I'm slightly down on the week now. Just is what it is. But for some people, they find this really great. Look, hard to find trends here. We trend down, get this green bar up, make a sharp move down again, get a couple of green bars up, and it even looked like the buyers were, really trying to do it with those bottoming tails right there before the floor comes right out on us again. And then now we get 3 green candles in a row. And then we start to move and fade sideways again. And that would just look like we're trying to turn the tables. And here we have a nice wick forming right on the top again of that 15-minute SPY. So that's just the way it is. And as we go into the close here, my compare count windows, the selling into the close is really beginning to spike here. Look at that. Small caps must be getting crushed right now. All right. And it's no different on the larger caps. Same thing right here. So we can see right now, live real time, that there is quite a bit of selling going into the close. That's reflected here in these compare count windows that we offer. And we can see right here, we wicked right out and we're moving right back down here towards the low of the day again. So a lot of stuff here to show us which direction things were going. And the fact that Holly has 2 long trades that crushed it today speaks volumes to what she's doing. So sorry again, just following along some chats, and I was being asked if I could look up that data. Told them I'm with you folks for the moment. So no, I cannot look up that data. So, and I see people coming in and coming out, and at a moment, it looks like a whole 16 people in here, the largest numbers of the week. What are we doing? This is Trade Ideas Live Q&A. It's an open forum for the software. I'll talk markets and talk charts. I always stress I'm no charter market technician, or I've never worked for a prop firm. I'm self-taught trader through Trade Ideas and the community that's here, that's built around it. I do this Q&A Monday through Friday to try to help users get the most out of the platform, answer questions for people to think about, kicking the tires on the platform, so on and so forth. So I prefer it when you guys are asking questions, you're generating the content. Again, I will drone on in whatever direction I can come up with my brain to try to keep this moving and keep it interesting. So Perfect Circle, how are you? Good to see you. Like that idea, taking Holly entries, been thinking about that, handling the AI that way. So that's it. Human and machine, Dan. It's human and machine. Bring up the week of Holly here. So what day does the week start on? Let's go history. Let's go time frame. Where do we start the week? Was on the 29th is the start of the week. So let's go with 5 days ago. No, sorry, let's do this. 11, 29, to today. All right. Now let's sort by change from entry on some of these. All right. It's going to give us live, unfortunately, what our live change from entry is currently. Exit reasons look a little nicer with all these profit saves. Do you have a scan that'll look for stocks that sold off and making a bull flag after having sold off? No, Lonesome Dove. I mean, it would be kind of tough to have a sell off and a bull flag. I mean, in intraday, not even sure how you'd go about that, because you need a buy. When we're looking at bull flags, so if I pull up, let's see, pull over the Market Explorer and look at bull flags and see what's on here. So, you know what I mean? So it's like looking for the bull flag. This is finding that bull flag because of this move up here and this move that's in here now. So if you get that move down, if you get a move up, that would be a bear flag actually, by having that move up again. So you kind of have to erase that move down to do that. Now, I mean, if you're meaning intraday where something, let's say, for example, something really sold off and then made a nice enough move up long enough that it couldn't be a bear flag anymore, you'd have to really just kind of go with position and range filters. So what I would point you towards is, if we're looking at, and let's go to configure on a top list here, you're going to look at these intraday change filters. I would say a combination of these filters here, all right, and a combination of position and range filters. You're going to have to work with the time frames that we offer. If I could type, it would probably be great. interesting. It wouldn't let me do it with range. All right. And you have to look with these time frames there, but that would be the direction I'd point you. And then from there, it's, kind of guess and check work, trying to find that pattern that you're looking for. But I don't have something specific for that. The only thing that I'd have to give you a template of would be a daily bull flag scan that Andy had created. So, I've shared this a whole bunch. I shared it yesterday, as a matter of fact. But let me load from cloud, bull flag, share. Now, this is looking on daily time frames, but to give you an idea of what he did to create that using those range and position range filters and whatnot, that's the direction you have to go in. You're just going to want to change it to the time frames, A, what we have, and B, what you're looking for. So there'll be probably some kind of compromise in there. But that's what I would go with. So that would be the direction that I send you in as far as that goes. I'm going to switch back to the TSI strength alerts. And just going to symbol link that again so that I'm not changing my SPY chart. Yeah, you're welcome, Lonesome Dove. I'm kind of like picking the back of my brain right now, trying to think of what would work best on that, because what you're going to have to do to get that pattern that you're looking for, or that concept that you're looking for, like I said, is, when you get a sell off and then a move back up again, that usually is more looking at a bear flag. Like, this is a great bear flag, as a matter of fact. It's a great example. Here we get the sell off, right? There's our pull down, and then we start to move this way again right before that sell off. So that's textbook bear flag right there, as a matter of fact. On an intraday chart, where on a daily chart you have more of a bull flag. Is it a perfect bull flag? No, it's not. But we're not looking at pattern recognition. We're using range, position, range, and change filters to do that. So, like I said, now we have a kind of a curling up that's happening here after this whole event is kind of over. And, you could even say there was two bear flags here. Look, bear flag number one. And we could almost call that a bear flag number two, to come right back down again. So you got to get away from this event, that move down event, to try to reform that bull flag that you're looking for to do that. Some crude drawings there. So hopefully I'm making sense with what I'm kind of saying there. So that's that. I gotcha. I'd say this one's giving you, a little bit anyways. Up to 240. So on a 250, 245. So on a percentage basis, 250. So on a percentage basis, you've got some move there for sure. Your issue that you're going to run into with anything right now is this, this market. It's not, it's not for the long right now. And what I mean by long is not long trading, but not to be in a long. I mean, again, we were just talking about a few moments ago, all the selling that was just happening. So we had this move up, and then we had a move down, and it was moving down again. And now we're moving right back up to that range. And what did the compare count windows do? We just watched these spike a few minutes ago, right? Now they're spike up, really spiked up, really spiked up, really. Now we're really spiking down. Now we're watching the selling coming right in on the close on cue. I'll say the small caps are really lagging behind for sure. So just like that, like someone's flipped a switch literally on the entire market to back to buy side again. So, pretty incredible. And to watch it real time unfold like this, and different ways to watch this data, pretty incredible stuff. And to watch this disconnect, look at this disconnect between sub 2 billion market cap. And then, we go 2 to 4 billion market cap. And now these are both over 4 billion right here. All right. So that's pretty incredible to watch the massive spike that's happening on the large cap stocks right now. It's 450 a critical area on the SPY. It looks like they're making it one. I don't know that it is. I have 457 as a pretty big significant area. And yeah, of course, yeah, it is subjective. Obviously, to these buying machines, it is right now. But look, we're at the low from the other day. So yeah, as a matter of fact, it is an area, and we could even put a line on there just for fun. I mean, look, you draw lines anywhere and make of it what you will. Again, there's no hard and fast rule to any of this. But looks like we struggled on it back here a little bit, and here we're making it again. And we came down and banged on it the other day, and here we go again. So back to the range. That's all there is to it. What do I mean back to the range? We're in the range right here. We popped out of it, come right back down into it again. All right. And if we look at it as a bigger picture range, all right, let's get rid of that. Let's look at it on the bigger picture, all right? Take a tick in. So again, I don't think there's any happy accident. There's our 450. There's our 450 again. All right. So, we get through this significantly. I think we were looking at somewhere in this range in here is the next level. So it's at 440, 440. Again, whole numbers, all psychological because we're human beings, and for some reason we like whole numbers. And again, look at the year in perspective. Let's look at the year in perspective on what we're really looking at here. This is where we started at the beginning of the year, way down here. That's where we are at the beginning of the year. We're way up here. There's some work to do for it to be, a real crash, to say the least. So again, and look at what the SPY is now doing. Kind of funny. So again, be nimble if you're trading. If you're more of an investor, you're more on the long side of things. It's hard to argue that this is not a buying opportunity right now. It's exactly, again, subjective. I mean, we're crashing. Okay, well, here's where we started the year. We started the year down here. That's where we started the year. We're crashing. We're crashing. We're up, almost 100 points from where we started the year on the SPY. Still, with this massive sell-off, I think I saw something today where somewhere like 7.5% off all-time highs on the NASDAQ right now on the Qs. So again, and the buying machine's just right on cue. That's all I can say. It is what it is. So, all right, again, I see the numbers coming up and down, so I never, again, know what to make of any of that. But those that ask, what is this? Who are we? What's going on? It's live trade ideas Q&A. Do this for the software for people that are subscribers. Try to get them the most out of their subscription. And also anybody that's kicking the tires, wondering what Trade Ideas is, they want, looking for some type of scanning software for the U.S. markets. That's what I'm here for. So it's an open forum. I just kind of drone on when people aren't asking questions. Find something interesting to discuss and talk about. So, kind of covered Holly. I don't think we need to really cover anything more there at this point. Kind of watching these numbers on Holly just get better and better into the close here, to be honest. Just kind of talking some overall market gibberish right now. We're just blasting through everything that was, look, this was all tough through this area during the day here. It was all kind of a tough area, right? We're just popping right back up to it. All right. Got smacked down, got smacked down, got smacked down again every time I tried to make a turn later in the day after the lunch hour. We're running right up into it, and that's it. We are now closed. 30 seconds behind the close, and we ran right up into that level. So what does that mean? I have no idea. It means we didn't close on the low of the day. So again, if anybody has any questions, fire them away. Otherwise, I'm going to take a few moments here and just jump through the sectors and look at the damage that was done or wasn't done in the sectors. And the reason why I continuously pound the table that this is a live Q&A and I ask questions about the software, if you have them, is just I've had people email saying, oh, on the Q&As they're just talking about charts and it's not really about the software. I can't answer your software questions if you don't ask them. That's all there is to it. So with that said, I'll jump back into that again. And I'll make mention of that again. But let's take a look at some things. We closed just above the 50 SMA. Looks like you're right. Yep. There it is. Let's zoom in on it. That's the green line on my chart. Close rate on it. Can't zoom much more than that. Looks like we close rate on that 50 SMA. I mean, we might be talking about a few tenths of a point above it, I guess. And those that are wondering, it's 20. That's an 8. That's 20 SMA. This is an 8 EMA, and this black squiggly line here is a low range of 20 days. So we just made a new low 20-day range. When this updates, that'll be down here now. So it'll come back down here. So I'll zoom that back out. And thank you for that there. Good call, good eye. All right, sorry. I'm returning a message that was sent to me. Zoom back out again here. All right, so let's look at some real damage. Done a lot of time on this back here, the IWM. All right, I covered it as this was happening through here, this move up, blast right through, and bam, right back down into this range. You can get bearish if you want. You can stay bullish if you want. Just read the chart if you want. But what do I mean by this range? This is what I mean by this range. We came up through here at the beginning of the year. We're right back down here at the end of the year. So the IWM is just about where it started on the year. Make of that what you will. We can call that a bull trap. In hindsight, it absolutely is. Regardless of that, we stay in this range. We'll see if we come back and test the low of this range again. We tested it. We came up through it. We tested it here. We moved up, tested the high of the range, or created the high of the range here. Came back, tested the low, tested the low, tested the high. Came back down here. Didn't quite test the low, but tested the high, tested the high, tested the low. And then we started to pull off the low of the range. And that created that move that's up here. So is that just setting up, blasting through here for the next leg to turn back up? Maybe. Are we setting up to come right back down there? Maybe. We'll see. Trade accordingly. Evergrande released a statement that they cannot make good on their financial obligations and extreme caution necessary with their securities. That sucks for them. So, yep, there's that. The IWM, the Qs. Close trader workstation here. I don't have any need for it anymore. And I'm really struggling with my machine right now for some reason. So there's your Qs. Even more interesting. So look, this is where do we start the year on the Qs? We started the year on the Qs there. So we're still up. That's 314 or so is where we start the year on the Qs. So we're still up 100 and 70 points, give or take, 160, 168, 167 points on the Qs. And sorry, just return some messages here. So, again, make of these things what you will. Am I saying run out and buy? Nope. Am I saying run out and sell? Nope. I'm saying trade your plan. Adjust your plan accordingly. Things that I've done recently, I share sizing a little smaller, taking profits a little earlier, cutting losses a little faster, sometimes in my stop loss. Just kind of the tape that we have right now. Anyways, that's the Qs and the diamonds. Let's take a look at the Dow 30, what that looks like. The reset zoom button on the charts, web version. I don't really use the web version. Let me take a look at what you're talking about on the web version. Let me bring the web version over. Reset zoom. I'm not sure what you're talking about here. You might have to send me an email with a screenshot. RMCG. This pop out. Let me go to new chart. Reset zoom. Markup properties. I'm not sure what you're referencing, but can you send me an email with a screenshot there, or send us an email with a screenshot there of what you're referencing, and I am going to help get you an answer for that. Something that I'm not doing right. I mean, I do some, when it comes to the web, if there's an issue, I do most of the troubleshooting. So I'm just trying to play with this on another screen too to see if I can find this zoom that you're talking about. All right, I'm gonna take this off here for a moment. And if you send that in the email and let me know, because then I can look at the email from there. I just can't share a screenshot on here, unfortunately. And I'll take a look at that from there, and then I can maybe do a little more work on that though. So so anyways, with all the indexes, we saw the same thing into the close. And go back to where we started at the beginning of the year. So we started at the beginning of the year on the Dow. We started at the beginning of the year on the Dow here. So we're not quite up the same amount on the Dow as we are the rest of those, but still, long way to fall to erase the entire year's gain. So the range. Again, what do I mean by range? That's what I mean by range. We're in a range all this time. Popped up, came right back in it. Popped up, came right back in it. We're in a range. We can even widen the range now if we want. Whatever you want to do. Draw lines. Go crazy with it. There's no rule. Net. I am about to sign up for Strength Alerts. Is there a coupon code? Sure. Let me do something for you here. It's just any of our discounts apply to the first month of a monthly subscription or first year of an annual subscription, regardless if regardless of the software, strength alerts, or anything like that. So hang on for a second. So use go ahead and use that link and then use this code. Trade ideas 15, all capital letters, and that'll give you 15% off your first month on it. And this is what you'll see each week for an email. The emails only go out to people who subscribe to the Strength Ideas, the Strength Alerts only. If you have this software, the Strength Alerts is included in the channel for anybody that's just curious about that. But this is what you'll see as far as emails go. Let me find the link. This is this past week's, somewhere in here. I swear I'm going to find it. So that's what this past week's alerts were, how that worked out. And to bring that up on a screen, what that looks like. Sorry, all kinds of messages coming into me to close out the day here today. New docked channel bar. So I just want to bring over dock channel bar so I don't lose my layout. And let's go to Strength Alerts. And this is what you're going to find when you open the Strength Alerts channel. At some point this will open for me. I'm not on my, sorry, I'm still connected to the web. There we go. And here we go. And so the newsletter will just look like this, the welcome screen right here. So if you're only subscribed to the Strength Alerts, that's what you're going to get. This right here. And we're getting some data numbers in. So the Strength Alerts channel is now our fourth most popular, or the ME using the Strength Alerts is the fourth most popular thing people are using right now. So this is what it'll look like. The Strength Alerts, the newsletter that comes out every in between late Sunday and early Monday morning. It depends on where you are in the email generation line. But go through here, some market thoughts, all right, support and some resistance, some ideas that are going on there. All right, daily, weekly, give you some different time frames on that. And then the same thing here, some levels of interest, what the chart looks like. All right, daily and weeklies again, and each one of those. All right, so Apron was fire this week. Now, not all these worked out. Not all of them work out. The idea is idea generation. You don't have to follow hard and stop rule on any of this stuff. You share size. Obviously we're not giving you any share size to think about. You got to figure that out on your own. Use our suggested stop. Use our suggested entry. Don't use them. Use something that you think is more tolerable to what you are willing to risk. How long you're willing to stay in there. Maybe you got a time frame on some of this. Maybe you want to combine this with some fundamental analysis you're doing on your own. No one way to slice or dice these things here. So that's the Strength Alerts. Sorry, I was having chart problem. We'll send a pic to support. The reset zoom was just to the left of the heart. Funny, it wasn't on your charts. I rarely use web, but I was on the road with an Android device. I wonder if that maybe it had something to do with that. I'm curious now. I'll be curious when you send that in, and I'll definitely gonna get you some kind of something answer somewhere. You're welcome, by the way, Jeanette, for that. Sorry, just more data coming in here. We look to see what people are using and what they're looking at with the software. Um, and that's how we change channels once in a while. So you might look at a video that doesn't have a channel in it anymore. There's a channel there once upon a time that no longer exists. The reason it no longer exists is because people were not using it, and server space is commodity for us. So looking back at the strength alerts for the week here, unfortunately, we didn't fare great this week overall. I'd like to bring this one over to illustrate. Apron was the one winner on the week. This is position in 5-day range, so this was what we looked like on the week. It was a choppy week. It was a tough week. It is what it is. There's no excuses. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in softball. There's no crying in trading. It just is what it is. Win some, lose some. So anyways, that's the short and skinny there on the strength alerts. If anybody likes me to go into more detail about that. Now with the strength alerts, the ones that go out in the email are picked based on these scores and, a few other things that we look at here. Obviously, we're not going to send you something that is, a buyout, for example. Let's see if I can find something that's, a buyout. This one here. So obviously, it's got a 97 rating, but there's nothing here. They're either going private or they got bought out or something. So there's nothing, nothing there to share. Just it met the algorithm, and so that's why it's there. Again, I see something that interests me here on this. ON, I discussed this yesterday. Did well trading this way back. That's well out of my price range, but man, in this tape that we had today, and this is holding up, and this tape that we've had this week, hard not to look at ON. Sorry, messaging Michael because he and I are the strength alerts fiends. So anybody that has access to the software has access to the strength alerts channel or whatever it is, the Market Explorer. It's not really a channel, but the scan, and you can see all the options that are coming up here. So, anyways, we'll go through these. It's happening right now. These are all being looked at, and what we're gonna, what's gonna end up on that list. Something from here is gonna end up on that list and on that email coming up in the next few days. But again, why do I like this so much? Boom, explosion off of that. All right. Just a beautiful pattern. All right. And then here we go. And then here we go. And we've continued to hold strength. We're at all-time highs. It's holding above all the moving averages, even the faster moving averages. We even call this a classic gap fill right here. We came down, we filled this gap, and we recovered very beautifully. Super liquid stock. Trading almost 2 times normal volume closing out the Friday here. So, whole lot to like on that chart. I'll tell you that right now. I will not be surprised if that ends up on the TI strength alerts. Am I saying run out and buy it? No. Just in case anybody's wondering. But you certainly should be looking at things like that. Again, here's another great one. Sitting near at all-time highs, closed near almost all-time highs on this. And how do I know that? Here's how I know that. Bring this down this way. Lifetime high. All right. So, and look at that chart. I mean, look at that daily chart. That is beautiful looking. Again, am I saying go run out and chase and buy that? No, that's not what I'm saying. All right. And we can also see we were up here once upon a time, not that long ago. All right. In the spring, we're up there right there. All right. So, note that. All right. That it has some trouble pushing through there, but also there's no such thing as quadruple tops, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's still not go and buy that stock. All I'm saying is that is a quality alert coming through there. Quality idea. So, all right, I think some quality stuff. What's that window you're looking at right now? It's the Strength Alerts window, the Market Explorer window, Pete. So you got to make sure you're on our latest beta. In fact, we just put out a new beta today. Um, Read the notes in the beta. So what does this all mean? All right, if you want the Strength Alerts scan itself and you're a Trade Idea subscriber, whether you have premium or standard, all right, here's our homepage. Go to download software, all right? And we're going to scroll down, and the first thing we're going to come across is production, latest production version, right there, okay? 5.5.32, okay? Keep scrolling. Anytime we put out any versions, first off, you should always read these notes. There's changes. We make changes. You might not understand all those changes. For example, the stuff we talk about, the C++ programming in Microsoft and things like that. Microsoft makes changes. We got to make changes with them. All right. Things that were known issues or that have popped up or known issues that we have. Okay. So all this stuff, real important notes that are in here. All right. So that's on the production version. But if we continue to scroll down, Trade Ideas public beta. Okay. Public beta. And if we look in here, we're going to see anything that changed in here. Now, the Market Explorer was on the last beta, which was 0.45. We're on 0.52 now. All right, but we still have notes about the Market Explorer here, okay? So that's all there. Your download button right here. No, my bad. You guys, and all right, so here's one other thing that I don't think people realize. Take your menu bar, go to Tools, go to Options, go to Upgrade. What do you have checked in here? Do you have production only? Do you have only releases? Do you have anything checked in there? All right. If you have all releases checked, every time we have an update, this new right here is going to go green on you. Big, bold green you're going to get right there. Telling you, hey, we got an update. Check us out. All right. So again, let's check that out again. Tools, Options, Upgrade. All right. There's a whole lot of stuff in here. This software is, holy cow, a lot of stuff. Once you're upgraded to our latest version, all right, our latest beta, you can go right ahead. Sorry, I want to get rid of this and dock this. You can take the menu bar here and you go to New. And you go to Market Explorer. I'm on a developmental version, so you don't have all this junk down here. You're going to end down here at Market Explorer and Brokerage Plus, right? And you're going to click Market Explorer, and you're going to get a window that looks exactly like this. And you can find the Market Explorer guide here, so on and so forth. And we right-click, Server Windows. 820 cross on 2-minute 820 cross on gappers. Daily RSI divergence longs. TI strength, which is what this window is here. Bear flag, bull flag on dailies. RSI divergence short. These are also dailies. Gap fill up, gap fill down. 3-line strike. If you don't know what 3-line strike is, just do a quick Google search or whatever search engine you like, and you find 3-line strike, long and short. It's used more actually in Forex trading, but it's becoming popular amongst equity traders as well. So it's all in the Market Explorer. Now, this is all created with technology we can't push out through our regular servers. There's a lot of math, coding that goes involved in this, but we can create these scans on our side and push the full scan out to you all. So something that I've continuously also pounded the table on is, in our latest, if you guys go, if you guys gather in Barry's room together and you get 20 or 30 of you that want some kind of scan built, you get a consensus on it, something that you want to see built that we don't have outright that you can build, we will build it via the Market Explorer. We're not going to build one scan for each individual user. There's a lot of work that has to go behind this, or it goes into this behind the scenes. But if you can, if enough users got together and they said, hey, we want scan XYZ built, and here's, 40 of us that, we put it together. And the reason why I say Barry's room is because, a bunch of you can get in there that are Trade Idea subscribers and talk to each other in the room. It's an easy spot with the off topic tab, a great place that you can do that. So um, we try to give as much as we can to everybody. We really try to, as much as we can. There's a lot of stuff we're working on the back end, or at least that I'm told that we're working on the back end. That's also going to start to push out sometime in the future here, with the charts even better. Sorry again, it's just some more data things that I'm looking at here. So we got a couple of minutes left before I sign off for the weekend. So if there's more questions, please fire them away for me here. Sorry, there's some questions that are going on also internally firing. Sorry. All right, back to you also. Speaking of, is there any desire to add main trader room interaction into the software? I think that would be great. No, but what we are doing is, if you notice, no one's noticed yet, a couple of things that you guys don't have here. This is a performance monitor that's going to end up with you guys pretty soon. I don't think you guys have the performance monitor, and we have a mailbox here that's going to be coming out. And then I'm going to start messaging you all, making sure that people that are complaining about not enough support or software support or anything, education, get the message that we have these live Q&As. People change their email addresses. They put our stuff in the spam so they don't see it. I can't tell you how many times in a week I get people that say, oh, you guys don't give us enough support. There's not enough education about the software. Meanwhile, we're here for, I don't know, 50 hours a week live broadcasting to you guys, between Barry, myself, and then, the other 5 that do the noon session. So, I don't know how much more support we could possibly give to people. And again, it's never going to be, one-on-one support nonstop for people. It's not realistically possible. But I don't know anybody else that's doing this. Like I said, I'm here at least 5 hours every week doing this live. And again, do I know everything about Trade Idea software? Nope. But if I can't get you the answer, I'm going to tell you here. I don't have the answer. Email me. Just like I told our RMCG, I don't have an answer for you the second, but give me an email. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. It might take me a day. It might take me a week, with Robert that asked those questions before about the block trades. Took me, it took me 2 weeks to get him an answer. First, the person that I need the answer from wasn't here. B, they never saw, for some reason, the question the first 2 times I asked it. And then, they had to go back in and, look at what it is that brings in that data to give me the answer, to give him the answer. So if a question comes into our email, it's not going to get ignored. You just might not get the answer you want as quick as you want it, but we are going to get it right to you. So, Dan and YYC, there's always going to be a complaint. You can't, like I always say, you can't be everything to everybody. It just is what it is. So, anyways, Market Explorer, it's a great feature. It's a great tool. We continue to do some pretty cutting edge stuff here. And again, the reason why I make that reference to Barry's room to get you guys together is it's a spot where a lot of Trade Ideas users can gather and give you a forum to talk to each other and say, let's come up with a consensus of a scan that we all think is going to work for us, and we're going to build it for you. That's all there is to it. Is it going to take 10 of you to get it built? I don't know. Is it going to take 20 to get it built? I don't know. It's going to probably be more than 5, I could say, of you to come up and, send, hey, send us an email, or even say to, hey, Barry, we're in the off topic and we've got this scan. Tell Michael and the crew that builds the Trade Ideas Market Explorer stuff, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want. So, that's that. Let's get rid of all of this here. Take a look at a couple more names from Market Explorer, and then I'm going to sign off for the weekend here. Another one that I like here, Getting the quitting time message from Slack telling me I can exit for the weekend, log out for the weekend. All right. Just want to make sure that I do so. So, all right, HPE. Maybe more of a defensive name we could call it. We're past earnings. Earnings look good. We're holding up again after earnings. We've got an 89 rating here on Market Explorer's TI Strength Alerts. Looks like this is some resistance that's right there. I know that's not a great line, but again, it doesn't matter because we talk about pivot lines being, is this a whoopsie? I don't know, but we've got some good strength here, especially in this choppy market tape. We got some room to run up here. Is that a ton of room? You know, we're at 510 running to $16. No, but you know, certainly some idea generation right there. We could look at it this way. We look like we got a pretty good floor here and at 14. So we're risking basically almost one to make one. All right. So it's not terrible. That's not a terrible risk to reward in this tape. You know, we're looking at $1 billion in the float. So in general, this isn't something that's whipping all over the place all the time, but we can see it can make some nice moves here. We see a nice move here. We see a nice set of moves here. We see a nice set of moves right through here. All right. So definitely quality idea for HPE. All right. Let's look at what else we got in here. All right. We had nice earnings. We moved up. We've established a nice base in here. Nice horseshoe up forming here. We put through some marks through some resistance that's here. So definitely some room to move on that upside again. We gapped up. We closed the gap today. All right. And if we see some strength in the market next week, we can definitely see some strength in there. Semiconductors, anybody that knows me knows how I feel about semiconductors overall. Nice big float, still makes some nice big moves. So that's definitely something to put on the watch lists, if we will. Again, you know, so we looked at one that's in the low price range at $15. We looked at one that's up almost around $90. Let's look at something that's in between. Not sure. This might be a buyout or something here. Merger. No, it can't be with that much distance between it. So, all right. Got ourselves a nice base forming here. Big gap up off that earnings. We're right near a lifetime high. So some things that are working there. That's on the in between. We'll see what the market gives us for next week. Take a look. We talked about ON. What about fast? What do you look like fast? This one, I don't think I like it quite as much. Why don't I like it quite as much? I don't like that. There's no earnings. There's no other catalyst that's around here right now. So earnings, you know, we're looking at January, so there must have been, I don't know where those earnings must have been. You know, we had this range that we made. We made a nice move up. We caught a range, caught a move up, caught a smaller range. We made a move up. We were catching a range. Nope. Roll back down. Now, I guess we could say maybe this is an area of interest. All right. Maybe we do try to make a march back off of that. I'm not just as crazy as this as I am on the rest of those, the other alerts that I looked at. Although very strong into the close here, but so is the whole market too. So, you know, definitely something to note, I guess. You know, 87 as far as strength alerts go. All right, let's look at one more. What do we want to look at? 92 on this rating. Take a look here. Oh, we looked at Encore already. We looked at this already. Trying to find something. Want to find something with a higher score. No. It's not really got any kind of range to it. Same thing, not any kind of range. You guys want homework for the weekend? Go through this. All right, Build-A-Bear. We had that big earnings play through it the other day. What does it look like after that big earnings play? All right. Interesting enough. Range bound. Long time range bound. Range bound, all right? Bigger the base, the bigger the boom. All right. Big gap up off earnings. Some wicks, some wicks. Selling happens today. Now, are we at the top of this range to build a new range, or are we heading right back down into that range? I don't know, but I bet that this is going to be worth watching going into next week, especially considering what season we're in, and how that's going to play out come its next earnings. All right. No, but I had Michael open up the history on the strength alerts. So look how far back we're going back on history on the strength alerts now. This was due to a specific request to me. So look how far back that strength alerts history. We got strength alerts history going all the way back to July right now. So hope that helps. That's way more than our 60 days. In case anybody's wondering, we can do that with the Market Explorer way back in history. And again, we hope to be able to push this out so it's more customizable to you folks in the future. At what point of the future that happens, I don't know. But we can go back and look at, some of these. Let's just take a look here. We're going back to the end of July here on INT. Let's scroll out. Oops. So that came in here. All right. Made that move up, came down, made a move up. All right. Find something here. This I know is up from the end of July. But again, so all right. Came down here, we made a move down, we made a move up. Supernova. So we get that here. We're up here now. Where are we? So we got that alert somewhere in here. So we get that in here. All right. We had a couple of weeks that we were up above it. We came back down. We came back up. We came back down. So there's a lot to go through here. A lot of data in here. Triple D. Interesting to go through this. I haven't really gone through the history of this yet. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up for the weekend here, folks. For anybody that just happened to pop in, I'm sorry, I'm shutting down for the day. I do this Monday through Friday, 3:30 Eastern. I start. I usually shut down about 4:30. What is this? Trade Ideas Live Q&A. This stream here now opens. I am told Barry opens. Sorry, I don't know if this stream opens at 8. The regular trader room now opens at 8. This stream probably still opens at 9. Barry doesn't get live on the mic though until 9:05 still. But he lets you guys come into the regular traders room now a bit early, an hour early to talk amongst yourselves. How do I get to the regular traders room? This is how you get to the traders room. I'm gonna drop the link. You too, Dan. Have a great weekend. Appreciate you being in here all the time, keeping me company. All right, so that's the other side. This room gets broadcasted from two sides, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern each day. All right. But on that side of that link that I just showed, he's now opening that room for you guys to chat amongst yourselves an hour earlier, even each day. All right. So thank you as well there, Dan. Dan, YYC Dan. Appreciate you being in here. So we're here all the time. This specific stream, this specific broadcast opens at 9 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. Barry shuts it down at 3. I open it back up again at 3:30. We're here all the time. Come, keep us company, talk scans, talk charts, talk markets. We're all about it. All right. We're all about education here. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great have a great start to your weekend, and enjoy whatever you're doing. Enjoy your family, enjoy your company. And we will see you back here Monday. And possibly if any of you send an email over the weekend, I'll see you over the weekend via email. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.